So today I want to talk about how to recover from a bad start when joining a new team. Now, the thing about having a bad start when joining a new team is that it's so frustrating because you come in, you passed the trials in pre-season, you've impressed enough for the manager to give you a place on the team, whether that's you starting or coming off the bench. But then the first few games of the season you're just not performing. And obviously, like I said, you want to gain the manager's trust, but most importantly, I feel like you want to gain your teammates' trust, because if you don't have your teammates' trust, then it's kind of, that's sort of the main thing, because you start to see when you don't have your teammates' trust, there's certain times where they won't give you the ball. There's certain areas where, they'll be hesitant to play. Whereas if it's a different player in that position, they're playing it straight away, you understand? And even the dynamic in the change room, you can kind of sense it when your new teammates, they don't really trust you, they don't really fuck with you yet. We all know that dynamic, and the thing is that it could be very hard to sort of get out of that rut, because like I said, when you feel like you don't have the trust of your teammates or your coaches, it's tough. That's when your confidence starts going down. That's when you might get your teammates starting to get frustrated at you, starting to get onto you for little things. Maybe you misplace a pass and they get onto you heavy, because like I said, you're the new guy, they don't really know you, they don't really trust you, they get onto you heavy for giving the ball away. Whereas when someone else gives the ball away, they sort of let it slide, because they've played with them in the past, they've seen what they can do. Especially when you're joining a team who have been together for 3, 4, 5 years, you know what I'm saying? That's when it's difficult. That's when you're literally on the thinnest of ice, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you don't perform as soon as you get in there, it's like you could be frozen out the team completely. And I've seen that firsthand myself. It's never happened to me per se, but I've seen it happen to other players, where other players have come in and maybe I've known them from like playing with them before or playing against them before. They're good players, they come in, but they just don't perform, you understand? They don't perform, and because obviously I was on a team where, most players have been together for 3, 4, 5 years, they sort of just get frozen out the team. They don't really start games. Even when they do come on, they're coming on in like the 75th minute, 80th minute, you understand? And they just sort of get frozen, they get frozen out, and then obviously from there, they just begin to lose confidence, you understand? I think luckily for me, the first 2 times I ever moved teams, they were completely new teams, you understand? So how it works is that they literally just got players from all over just to sign up. They had trials, completely fresh new teams, and they just selected who they thought the best players were, you understand? It wasn't until I was 16 that was the first time I ever joined a team where that was the first time I ever joined a team where the team had been together for 4, 5, 6 years. I'm pretty sure most of them have been playing together since the age of like 8, 9, 10ish, thereabouts. So they've been playing together for, like I said, 4, 5, 6 years, and yeah, that was at the team where I literally saw it firsthand. Players would come in, good players, but because maybe they didn't fit the system, didn't fit the style of play, or maybe the manager just didn't rate them like that, they were completely frozen out. And obviously the manager sort of has bias, sort of has loyalty to his players that he sort of brought in. Luckily for me, even though I came in and them guys have been together for a long time, luckily for me, I came in and I performed straight away, you understand? I just came in and I performed, especially because me, I was lucky. I was more of like a defensive midfielder, and they didn't really have that at the time. So it got to the point where it's sort of like, even though I started a few pre-season games on the bench, the manager was sort of forced to play me, forced to give me a chance. And then obviously, like I said, I started every pre-season game on the bench. First game of the season came, I started, I scored, we won. And then yeah, from there, I was pretty much a starter from there all the time. But obviously, like I said, that's not the case for a lot of players. The case for a lot of players is that they come into a team and they sort of have to wait for their opportunity. All their teammates, they've been playing together for 3, 4, 5 years. They're cracking jokes in the change room, on the training pitch, and you just sort of feel left out. You understand? You feel left out, and you feel like you don't have the full trust of your manager. You understand? Maybe you're a winger, you're a new winger, and you're playing on the side of where your new manager's standing, and he's constantly just barking information at you. He's telling you constantly, do this, do that, do this, do that, and in your mind you're probably just thinking, oh, I just want to play, like. You know what I'm saying? I just want to play. But the thing is, he keeps barking at you because he doesn't know if he can trust you to just go out there and do the job. You know what I'm saying? The one way you can tell where your manager trusts you to do the job, especially what's it called? Once the game has started, but before the game as well. When he's going through the tactics, and he's saying, alright, cool, right back is this guy, you do this. when he comes to your position, and he says that you're starting, you just want him to say, yo, just go out there and do what you normally do. You understand? You want your manager to be like, oh, just go out and do what you normally do. You know what to do. Just go out there and play your game. That's when you sort of know you have the manager's trust. You know what I'm saying? But if he's constantly barking instructions at you, telling you to do this, if he gives you some long instruction lists when he's reading out the starting lineup, that's when you sort of don't really have his trust. And especially if you have 2, 3, 4 poor games, it's very likely where he's gonna freeze you out the team for a period of time. But this video is about how to actually recover from that period of time, how to turn it around. How to turn it around, and basically, yeah, just gain the trust of your manager, especially when you've had a bad start to life at your new team. So first things first, I would just say that have the mentality of that, yo, it's an adjustment period. It's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's an adjustment period. It is what it is. It's gonna take time. You understand? Like even if you take a guy like Kylian Mbappe, when he joined Real Madrid, everyone was clowning him. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Mbappe, you know, he doesn't fit the Real Madrid system. He's ruined their team." You know, Real Madrid have declined as a team because Mbappe has joined. I especially remember when he missed the pen against Liverpool. I think Liverpool won the game 2-0, and he missed the pen at Anfield. People were getting onto him saying that Real Madrid should have never signed him. You know what I'm saying? That there's too many attackers, the balance of the team is off. But if you look at Mbappe now, literally only like two, 3 months later, he's absolutely balling. He just bagged a hat-trick against Man City, you understand? And I'm pretty sure after the game, he literally said in an interview that, yo, my adaptation period is over. It's time for me to start. Time for me to start winning games, you understand? So even Mbappe knew, even Carlo Ancelotti was saying this. Carlo Ancelotti was like, yo, it's going to take Mbappe time, but once he gets firing, it's going to be a scary sight. And now Mbappe is really doing his thing, you understand? As soon as he changed to, the long sleeve, it's been peak ever since. Since he's changed to a long sleeve, he's been absolutely balling out of his mind. And I'm pretty sure that now he's taken over that role as, Real Madrid's main man, you know what I'm saying? It used to be Vinny, but I think Mbappe is staking that claim, you understand? But yeah, like I said, first of all, just have the mentality of look, it's going to be an adaptation period. Probably learning a new system, new teammates as well. An important thing is that you need to start learning your teammates' tendencies as well. You need to start learning, okay, cool. Who's greedy? Who likes to take on their man a lot? Who doesn't like to pass the ball, or vice versa? Who likes, let's say it's your right back. Does your right back like to play down the line a lot, or does he like to look inside for his centre midfielders? Just little tendencies like that, you know what I'm saying? Just little tendencies, sort of just get on the same wavelength as your teammates. It's gonna take time, you know what I'm saying? You need to know, let's say you're a centre mid or you're number 10, you need to know what type of service does your striker like? Does your striker like to run in behind? If so, what channel? Does he like to run in behind, the right channel, the left channel? Does he want the ball feet? Same as the wingers. Do the wingers want the ball feet, or do they want it in behind? Do they like a bit of both? So obviously, like I said, it's gonna take time ultimately. You just have to sort of accept that it's gonna take time. But if you feel like you've had 2 or 3 bad games, or 2 or 3 games where you didn't show what you're about 100%, and you feel like your manager isn't giving you a fair chance, isn't really playing you, then I feel like at that time it's literally just time to just ask your coach, like, yo, coach, how do I get into this starting 11? Ask the coach how you get into the starting 11. How do you get more game time? And obviously, he should have no problem in telling you. A lot of the times, a lot of the coaches will probably just feed you nonsense. I'll be honest. They'll probably just feed you nonsense. Sort of just say the generic stuff. Oh, just need to work a bit harder in training. Need to do this. Need to do that. And that happens at times. That's where I feel like politics comes into play, where he sort of knows who he likes. He has who he likes, and he has who he doesn't like. You understand? So obviously, take what he says, and implement it in your game. But if you still feel like, oh, maybe he's playing favourites, or you still feel like you're doing everything you can, but he's still not giving you a fair crack, then in my opinion, the next step to do is literally just to look at the team. Just look at the team as a whole. Look at the starting 11, because this is what I did when I first went to join that team, my new team at 16. This is what I first did. I literally just sat there. First preseason game I ever played, I was on the bench. I literally just sat there and I just saw, alright, cool. Obviously, I assessed this during training sessions as well. I was just thinking, alright, cool. Who are the good players and who are the weaker players? What are this team's strengths and what are their weaknesses? You understand? What do I really need to do to get into this team? Even if it might mean me playing out of position, or playing a slightly different position, as long as I get onto the pitch and show what I can do, I can at least gain the manager's trust. You understand? So I was just looking, and I was seeing, alright, cool. They're playing. I think the team were playing a 4-4-2. They were literally playing just a book standard 4-4-2. First preseason game, and I remember what I recognize is that the two centre mids, they were both just going forward every single time. You know when you play a 4-4-2, when you play two together, even like in like a 4-2-3-1, you know, everyone knows the rule. One stays and one goes. But both of these guys kept going forward at the same time, and it just left massive holes in the middle of the park. And to be fair, I had played against these guys for my other teams as well, and I both knew that these guys were playing as a 2 in a 4-4-2, but these guys preferred playing in a number 10, you understand? So immediately my mind was like, alright, cool, these guys are number 10s. That must mean that this team doesn't really have a defensive midfielder type player, you understand? Even though I like playing more in the 8, cool, I can just, if they ask my position, I'm just gonna say, yo, I play as a 6, you understand? Because at least if I say I play as a 6, they're probably gonna think, alright, cool, this guy plays as a 6, let's put him on because we're getting overrun in the midfield. And that's exactly what happened. I remember literally I was sitting on the bench, one of the coaches turned to me and he was like, hey, and he just pointed at me, he was like, what position do you play? I said, yo, I play as a CDM, I play as a defensive midfielder. And he was like, yo, 5 minutes later, he told me, yo, warm up. I went onto the pitch. And like I said, I went onto the pitch and I just provided that security, you understand? Nothing crazy, you know. I just, obviously, first game, I was just keeping it simple, just keeping it ticking. I won a few tackles as well. I remember that day, it was the weather was terrible. It was raining like crazy, and it was July. It was July, and it was just raining like it was January or something. But yeah, literally that's what I did. I literally just looked at the team. I was just like, yo, where can I actually help the team? If I saw the left back, if I saw that our left back was seriously struggling, I probably would have said to the guy, yo, yeah, I play left back, put me on that left back. And I think that's what was actually gonna happen, you know. I remember the coach was like, alright, cool, you're gonna come on that left back, because I think the left back that day, he was dodgy, he was struggling. I'm not gonna lie. The left, so he was like, yo, I'm gonna put you at left back. Then I think the assistant coach turned to me and he was like, what position do you play? And I said CDM. So instead of me playing left back, he put me in the center, and then he put someone else at left back. But that's what you have to do as a player. Literally just assess and be like, okay, cool, where can I get into this team? Even if it sort of means that I have to play out of position. Because the thing is with playing out of position is that, yeah, it might not be natural to you, but as long as you're better than the guy who's playing in that position, you're gonna get game time, you understand? And to be honest, if you're a decent footballer who knows the basics, knows the fundamentals, you can sort of make it work. It might not be you at 100%, but you can make it work ultimately, you understand? As long as you just have basic football fundamentals, a good first touch, good decision making, can play off both feet, literally just play off both feet, literally just, yeah, just the basic fundamentals that makes you a good footballer, just a solid football IQ, spatial awareness, all of these type of things. So yeah, you can literally make it work. And then from there, in my opinion, if you're really hell-bent on playing a specific position, literally from there, just give it like 2 months, just 2 months of playing in that position. Just give it 2 months and you're putting in solid performances. Maybe you're even putting in man of the match performances for your team, you understand? So your coach has been like, alright, cool. This guy used to be a winger, but at left back he's doing the job. Let me keep playing him left back. Let me keep playing him left back. Eventually, you're gonna gain your teammates' trust. You're gonna gain your coach's trust. You understand? And once you feel like you've developed a sort of relationship with your coach, this is what you do. Then you sort of just sort of. You don't have to ask him directly, but just sort of give your coach hints about, you know, playing further forward. Maybe you tell some of your teammates, yo, I want to play further forward. And then obviously the coaches might hear that in the change room. And then eventually, once you feel like you're comfortable enough with the coach to go and ask him directly, that's when you go and ask him directly, yo, coach, can I, you know what I'm saying, for the next game, can I move forward? Or maybe someone gets injured or someone's away for something. Yo, you tell your coach, like, I've been a left back all season, but I wanna go play right wing, you understand? Then obviously, if he trusts you, you know, like I said, your basic fundamentals as a footballer, your time's gonna come, because like I said, I've seen this happen with players. You know, they've just been biding their time in a certain role, and then as soon as the time comes where they actually want to play their natural position, they get that chance, and then from there, it's up to them. Or it's up to you specifically if you take that chance, you understand? That's literally what happened with a guy like, you get it happens so often, you understand? It happened with Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale was just biding his time as a left back until he eventually, I think he won Player of the Year. as a left midfielder. So he got to move forward, left midfielder, player of the year. Then he gained the manager's trust to move over to the right, and then he's moved to Real Madrid. You understand? This happens with so many players. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to happen with Trent as well. You know, Trent at right back, he was doing bits. He just came in as like an 18-year-old, played well, started doing bits, and obviously Trent was meant to make that transition to midfield, but obviously I think we soon found out with England that that's not really him. You understand? You need to play him as a right back in a certain system where his defensive flaws, should we say, aren't really exposed. You understand? You have to build a system. You have to build a system around Trent where he's sort of protected. He can't be isolated 1v1 with a guy like Doku, or even a guy like Rashford when Rashford was playing well a few years ago. You understand? So yeah, literally, if you've had a bad start to your team, literally, like I said, just bide your time. Just accept that it's gonna be rough at first. Accept that you're gonna have to learn your teammates' traits, your teammates' tendencies, what they like to do on the ball, what they like to do off the ball. You understand? Then look at the starting 11. See where you can get in. Tell the coach that, yo, you can play this position. As soon as he puts you in, even if it's not your natural position, just play well. Just keep playing well until you've gained that trust from your coach and from your teammates. Then later down the line, maybe 2 months into the season, 3 months into the season, then you could sort of start sliding hints to your coach, start asking him questions about playing your natural position. Eventually, he's gonna give you that chance, and then it's up to you to ball out. You understand? And obviously, the last point is you gotta put the work in behind the scenes. Once your coach actually tells you what you need to improve on at first, obviously that's when you go away, you put in the work behind the scenes. If your coach says you need to improve your first touch, you already know what to do. Pass the ball at the wall relentlessly. If you're naturally a striker and he says, yo, you need to be more clinical, you know what to do. Start trying to finish at all different angles. Start shots at the edge of the box. Maybe get one of your friends to start crossing, start putting in crosses into the box, headers, half volleys, full volleys. You understand? Even if it's like penalties, free kicks, just putting the ball in the back of the net. You understand? Maybe as a midfielder, he says you need to improve on your awareness. You're too slow on the ball. So you go into training and you constantly just think about, alright, cool, I need to play quicker. That means I need to scan. Just focus on scanning. Just focus on moving your head and just keep scanning. Just keep scanning so you can ultimately play off one touch, play off two touch. And even if you take a few dribbles, even if you get the ball on the back foot and drive with the ball, everything's still swift, everything's still crisp. You understand? If your coach is saying, yo, you're getting dispossessed in midfield too easily, then you know like I said, you know what to do. Check those shoulders, be quick on the ball, be crisp on the ball, keep the game ticking. You understand? So yeah, that's the vid for it. If you have a bad start with your new team, you understand. I know it can be demoralizing, especially I know people I've literally seen good players lose their confidence because they've had two or three bad games, and the coach just ultimately freezes them out. And like I said, especially that happens with teams who have been together for a very long time. So if you don't want to be in that situation, literally, I think you're just gonna have to ultimately change positions. Just ultimately just seek out the weakest link in the team. I know, it's not the most morally correct thing to do. Oh, you're meant to be teammates, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, you need your minutes. You understand? So literally, just seek out. It might not even be seeking out the weakest link in your team. Maybe it's a weakness in the team overall. Maybe you have two wingers who are really good, but they're very they don't like to go 1v1 with their man. They're very Jack Grealish type wingers where they're pass first wingers. You understand? Maybe you're a winger who brings a different dynamics to the team, where you bring a bit of pace on the wing. You understand? You're more of a Jeremy Doku instead of a Jack Grealish. You understand? And maybe the team might need that for certain games. So yeah, you just tell your coach, yo, I play on the wing. Maybe you were a striker before who had pace, who could take on their man, but you just weren't really finishing. But if you tell your coach, yo, coach, I can play on the left wing as well, I can play on the right wing as well, then like I said, you're the winger who brings a different dynamic to the table. You're a winger who brings a bit of pace, a bit of running power in behind. You know what I'm saying? A bit of 1v1 ability. So yeah, like I said, in my opinion, that's the best way to recover from a bad start with a new team. But I hope you enjoyed the vid. I've been JT, and I'm out.